All right, members, we're going to go into how to sell more stuff using Facebook Live. Brandon Northwick here, and I am just excited to be sharing this with you today. So when you are thinking about what it is that we need to do with Facebook Live, how can we sell some more stuff, and what do we need to do to make it very easy for you to give you the tools, resources, all set up to make sure that this can happen. Now, a lot of stuff these days are getting done through Live. So I wanted to create this training for you so you guys can be up to date and to give you a quick, simple process that you could follow to start generating some content, start putting it out there via Live, generating leads, making sales, and starting to build your business with a more personal touch. So this is going to be a quick video, but it's going to be very in detail. So make sure to take out your notes, make sure to go through this step by step and start to implement this right away. So step one, you got to know the purpose of your live. Don't get on there stammering and trying to think about it after you go live. We don't want to do that. We want to know everything beforehand. But what happens if you don't know what the purpose is or what my options are? Or what do you actually mean, Brendan? So the best way is to choose the purpose for your live or to actually ask what it is that I want people to do. Ask yourself, what is it I want people to do? Do you want them to follow your page? Is that the call to action? Do you want at the very end of the live, is the whole purpose of this live to get people to more so, let's follow you here on another platform, whatever it may be? Do you want them to share the post? Maybe get some what we call invisible leverage to start to share this. Maybe you want them to click a link to buy. Maybe it's to opt into a landing page to get more information about a service that you provide. And then you got to think about, okay, well, am I going to be running ads to this live after I publish it? Because if so, then you have in your mind an opportunity to say, hey, if you're watching this on the replay, then go ahead and click the button below this video and go boom, 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 right? So now you have your call to action, okay? So if you know about your purpose, what's the purpose? And you can have a live every single day and have a different purpose attached to it. But the reason why we have to start here is because what I'm going to share with you in step 2 is really predicated on what we choose here in step 1. So don't think like, oh, well, what's the best choice here? Again, we don't want to get too technical. Again, think simple. Which one of these do you feel, if you don't have anything to buy right now, let's say you're just like getting started, you're trying to build your brand, well then, you know what? Get it to follow my page, share my post, things like that. Maybe you're doing a lead opt-in where it's like, hey, I'm focusing on lead gen. Well, then your choice is simple. Create a Facebook Live that's going to generate opt-ins. I'm going to show you exactly how to create the content and where to go and things like that in a second. So when you're thinking, well, these are a lot of choices, it's really simple. Where are you at inside your business? If you have nothing to sell or you're not looking to scale, then follow my page or let's share my post. If you have stuff that you want to get people to opt into, click a link to opt in. If you already have stuff to purchase, click a link to buy. Right? Pretty simple. Now we want to go to step 2, which is reverse engineering their behavior patterns to know which topics to speak on. Because of course, what we're going to ask ourselves next is, well, Brandon, what do I talk on? Okay, I know for a fact that I want to make sales. Okay, so I have a product, I want to drive sales. I want people to click through and actually buy my stuff. Well, we want to reverse engineer that to figure out what is it that we want to actually talk about to make sure that their interest is held, their focus is captured, and their direction is, I guess you could say, them taking direction is going to be less resistant. And that's what we want to do by being able to craft this live the right way. So step 2 is when you know what the purpose is, now you can start to reverse engineer the type of content for your live that would be best based on what that purpose is. So a way that we reverse engineer that is we know that off to the far, the bottom one onto the right is going to be purchase product. We want them to purchase product. Well, before that happens, they've got to view an order form. Before that happens, they have to visit a sales page. Before that happens, they have to come through a Facebook ad or come directly from the Facebook Live. So this is where you have to know, like in my case, I would run ad dollars to it. So in my mind, I would know, okay, well, if I'm getting them to purchase a product, and I know that the sales page is selling my product, and in this case, let's just say that it's a $100 per month online membership subscription for a 12-month health and fitness course. Okay, we got a client right now that's running. That's why I just figured might as well just use that as an example. And if we're going through a Facebook Live strategy, we would want to make sure that, okay, if the purchase is for a $100 online membership subscription, we might actually talk about the benefits of long-term thinking and health. Right? The benefits of accountability over the long course of a time, right? Because we want people to obviously have a want or a need for understanding long-term sustainability, not get fix quick, right? I was going to say get rich quick, but this is fitness, right? So it's get fit quick, right? We don't want to get any get fit quick people. We want people who are actually going to be in there for the 12 months because they're going to have an option to pay month to month or they're going to have an opportunity to pay annual. And when you think about the type of content now, Well, if we're selling a subscription, it could be, like I said, it could be about, okay, long-term thinking about health, things like that, or it could be about specific topics that are inside of the product already. So in this instance, there's going to be about 365 modules, but pretty much a video for each day. And if we were to take, say, one video and create a topic about that, okay, so the Facebook Live would go into depth about that one specific topic that maybe has maybe a video on it inside the membership for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay, so then our client would then say, okay, well, I'm going to go and take that one video topic, I'm going to go and create a live about it, go into even more detail, even more depth. And I'm going to say, hey, look, if you would like stuff like this shared with you, then come on, go ahead and visit this page right here. It's going to be a letter I wrote for you, right? I'm going to share with you the transition and the close next. So when you have that reverse engineering process, when you know, and again, it's going to get more clear to you as you know, again, this is a very basic template because there's so many different ways to go about it with different products. So for this instance, it's all I wanted to give you a subscription model, and I wanted to give you it in the health industry. So you figure Facebook Live would have to be that content now, would have to be revolving around that product. If that product was, let's say that the product is a photographer. Okay, let's just say the product's a photographer, right? Then the product purchased, let's say that she wants, or they want, whoever it is, want to sell let's say they want to sell 3 different types of services: headshots, and they want to sell like on location shoots, and they want to sell in studio shoots. Well, those would be 3 different types of lives that you can do, where you're highlighting different things about that, right? Where it would be like, okay, well, if I want to sell a headshot, maybe I'm going to do a Facebook Live on the benefits of having your own headshot. Maybe it's, hey, social media recognition. Maybe it's getting a better business or a higher qualification status, basically when you're going and applying for a job, if you can supply them with a solid headshot. Maybe it's another angle. But the point is to make sure that I'm creating an educational piece that's going to support my call to action at the end. And I can't really do that before knowing what my purchase is or what my purpose is. So for when you get this going, just think about, okay, if I have to know what it is, if it's going to be an opt-in, right? This right here would be a live. I would actually set up content that would need to be known before what they got their hands on. So if I have a Facebook Live about, let's say 3 ways that you can, even as a photographer, 3 ways, the one hidden gem inside all the top business owners' arsenal that no one talks about and nobody shares, right? Something like that. And then I could start talking about different forms of social media presence and different forms of photos and different forms of headshots and things like that. And then say, hey, look, if you would like to, and if I'm creating an opt-in, it'd be like, hey, look, if you'd like to actually know this secret that I'm talking about, go ahead and opt in here. I share it with you on the next page. Right now you're driving opt-ins that way. Another way, I just want to give you as many options as I can. Something like for what we do in the consulting business would be if we're selling, say, our one-on-one consultations or our done-for-you service, the Facebook Live is probably going to demonstrate what we could do for those clients, and then just ask, hey, would you like us to do this for you? So same thing like our Facebook Live, like, hey guys, look, I'm going to share with you 5 things today that you can implement into your business, your follow-up, your strategy, your ads, whatever. Start to do this right now and start to get results. Oh, and by the way, if you don't want to do this yourself, go ahead and find the link around this video and give me a call, sign up, whatever it is, register, purchase, buy my stuff. Okay, and that's where it comes into. So next, in step 3, is you gotta ask for the close. If you notice, every single time that I go into the previous pitch, I'm asking for the close immediately after. Now I'm gonna give you guys a closing script, and then we're gonna go into some FAQs, and then I want you guys to get to work, because this live stuff is huge, okay? It's not going anywhere, and a lot of people are still afraid to get in there. So if we look at step 3, okay, at the end of the live, you have to be confident in asking for the close. The transition is going to be simple but direct, okay? It's going to sound something like this. Now, you could change it up, or you could just copy and paste the way that it is, okay? This is just for you guys to have an idea, but this is almost word for word what we say on a lot of the things that we're closing out with when it's goodwill up front. When it's a sales pitch, we have different offers and different ways to say things depending on the product, service, the demographic, things like that, because we've been testing things. But when it comes down to I would say something like this on a live, you want to keep it to where it's at. Hey, I appreciate everyone for spending some time with me today. If you'd like to see how I can really serve you and give you that guidance that you may be looking for, I want you to check out the button or link around this video. It'll take you to a short letter I wrote just for you, so you can see everything that you get when you purchase, you sign up, opt in. Plus, you'll have your chance to get, or you'll get, and then insert bonus. You'll get, 3 bonuses I'm going to share with you on the next page. Check it out if you're seriously interested, and I'll see you on the next live. That's it. That's your subtle call to action, right? Because what's going to happen is the people who are paying attention until the end are going to take that action. The next step that we want to do is a hidden trick, which is to be able to pin a comment at the top of your post. So when you get into your live, right, if you do this from your business page, you can pin the comment at the top. So if you pin your comment at the top, then you'll be good, right? And this is obviously until Facebook takes that feature away, because they might just do that. So we want to just obviously be creative as possible. When you have a call to action in the copy, you have a call to action in the video, and you have a call to action in the pinned comment, it really does help bring a lot of attention to that offer. And it shows that you're kind of highlighting this whole reason why behind the live is there, which is going to give people an upfront advantage to know what to expect, which is awesome. So now we're going to go into the FAQs. So these are the top 5 questions that we get asked every time that we get a client into the live strategy. And we're going to go into more depth about how to leverage the lives and things like that, and setting up the lives inside of your Facebook ads manager. But for right now, let's focus on getting these 3 steps done, okay? Discover the purpose, right? You want to find the purpose, identify the purpose. You want to be able to, there we go. You want to reverse engineer. There we go. You got to love it. Sometimes it always comes to me, right? So know the purpose, reverse engineer, and then ask for the close, okay? To get back to the FAQs, how long should my live be? My live, when we run lives, we like to run them for about 15 minutes. We see that anything from 15 to 30 minutes is solid. Anything under 10 minutes, and it tends to really not get served the way that you would want it. Facebook, I've seen that sometimes. I don't get a notification on my feed from, I have maybe 3 notifications for people who go live. And I'll get a notification 20, 25 minutes after they go live saying, hey, this person just went live, or is now live. Hey, this person just went live. Like, it's ridiculous. So you might have to stay on for 20 to 30 minutes before everybody on your fan base, or everybody in your area, or everybody who is liking your page are going to be able to get notified. It could take up to 15 minutes. And so what we like to do is, when you're going through your lives, always say what you're going to say it, and then say what you just said. Okay, so that's really a basic public speaking type of formula. Every time you start a live, okay, so again, this is not a question, but it kind of leads into how long my live should be. The beginning part of your live should be, hey, here's what it is. Here's what I'm going to talk about. Today I'm going to share with you X, right? So talk about what you're going to talk about, and then talk about it, and then talk about what you just talked about. So that's the basic formula. Let them know what you're going to talk about, and then just talk about it, and then recap. And then during this whole live, you could start to recap in the middle of it. So if I'm 15 minutes in, and I see that we get a jump of 5, 10, 15 people that are jumping on live, okay, well, what we could do is just recap. Okay, for everybody who just hopped in, this is what we've been talking about. This is where we're at. All right, you guys are all caught up. Let's pick up where we are right now. And then you just recap, right? The best way, now number 2, so to answer the question, how long is my live going to be? It's going to be between minimum 15 and, if you can go for an hour, go for an hour. But I'd say 15 to 30 minutes is ideal. And what's the best way to do a live? In person, sharing my screen. They do offer a share screen option. I think both. I think it depends on the type of product you have. If you need to demonstrate something, then you share your screen. If you don't like to be on camera, but you want to still give that value, then share your screen. Because then you can just do what I'm doing here and just create a slide presentation and do it that way. Now, again, on person and face-to-face is going to be better. But I know that some folks really are terrified of that. So, if it's something that you're just not willing to do, and you're willing to sacrifice, there's going to be money left on the table, and you realize that, then just have somebody else do it, right? See, or create the slides like we have here, and then you can put your voice to it, or you could have someone else do it in your name. We have some of our clients right now that work B2B who have employees that do the lives, because the owners themselves are like, I don't really want to do it. So, depends on where you're at. Now, I don't have professional cameras, so does that matter? And no, it doesn't. We started doing our Facebook Lives on just our iPhone, and we got great responses. It just does not matter about that. What matters about the content. Lighting does matter. Okay, so you're not going to want to be in like a dark place where they can't see your face and things like that. That's not what you want. But you do want to be able to just give them some good content. Doesn't matter if it's on professional or any kind of camera, really. Just give them content where they can see your face and match what we call your body language with your tone and your facial expressions. When all those are congruent, then people start to build a trust with you. So that's why you want to make sure that they can see your face when you're going through this stuff, because it will be helpful. And I don't do well on camera. Is there any other way? Again, to kind of lead into what we said a second ago, if there is no other way, there really is no other way. Live is scary as all get up because you cannot make a mistake. There's no editing. Like, you could delete the live, right? You can go and delete the live afterwards, but you cannot edit it. Like, it's just, you can't do it. So it is a little nerve-wracking, and if you don't do well on camera, then you have to get better at it. Practice on regular cameras, practice with groups of friends, practice with family, but you got to get better. It's either that or you pay somebody else to. And I think being able to communicate well has got to be number one on any entrepreneur's list. Okay, now, number 5, the easiest way to create content for my lives are... Okay, so here's a quick little ninja trick. When we're talking about how to create content, there's a couple things that we want to focus on. Now, when we go back up here and we look at this right here and we're saying, okay, well, what are we going to be talking about? What's the content going to be about? What's the purpose about? How can we reverse engineer what it is that they want to know more of that's going to support my, hey, let's come and buy my stuff pitch? So when we have all that, now we're like, where do we gather this content? We know we want to talk about, let's say in the instance for us, we know we want to talk about lead generation. Okay, well, what does that mean? What do we talk about? Where do we go for content? So what we want to do is, if we come back here, where's the easiest way to create the content? Once you know what content it needs to be, well, number one, you should be learning every day. So what I suggest that you do, and this is something that I know will work, and I know it works fantastically well because it's the exact same thing that we did when we had first started out, and it's things that we still do. And it's that as soon as we learn something, we go and we apply it. As soon as we apply it and we get any result that's going to indicate it's a success or a loser, we then teach it. So we teach to say either stay away from this method, or we teach to say go ahead and do this method. But every single thing that we've ever done has been learn, do, teach. And so when you're thinking about what's the easiest way to create content, typically the people who don't know how to create or don't have the content to create are those that aren't every day growing in themselves. They're not learning. They're not advancing their skill sets. They're not going through the training. Because imagine if you went through just 3 videos every day inside of this academy, and you wrote down a few notes, you went and implemented those strategies, and then you went and taught other people those strategies. That's how you do it in this business, right? It's learn, do, teach. Now, if you're, another easy way to create content, let's say I'm a photographer, right? And I know that I have to talk about how do I create content for a photographer. It's hard. Everybody says that I should be doing things about my photos or my photos versus anything personal. I shouldn't be doing any of this or that. And that's just not true. The content can be about lifestyle, right? You could actually create as a photographer, hey, look, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm creating a lifestyle business that allows me to be with my kids and travel with my husband or my wife, and it allows me to do all these things, and this is the goal for me, and I want to be able to provide the best service for those that I work with, and this is what makes me different. And you can actually create a live that is based around you and your why and your mission. You could do those every week, because if you do it one week, doesn't mean that the same people are going to watch it over and over again. You could do that live every other week or once a month and reintroduce that why to your market. Make sure that's the forefront of why they know what you're doing, right? Then you could also do creating content based on what would be called a topic map. You should be having topic maps inside of all of your social media stuff. So a topic map is 5 things that are being talked about by your market that are outside of your business. So if you're a photographer per se, and you're looking for 5 other things, probably travel might be something to talk about, right? Hey, where's the top 5 places that you'd like to travel? Here's 5 places to take the best photographs, the top cities that have the best sunsets, right? Creating content for that can be easy. Now, when it comes to the lives, now you could be sharing a lot of stuff that you would be writing about, right? So you could be saying, hey guys, I want to share with you, 15 things that make it to where you're going to get a better headshot and it's going to help you increase your X, Y, and Z, right? And then, oh, by the way, if you'd like to get your own headshot, go ahead and register here, right? It could be to SEOs and executives, right? We have an HR client that we work with that should be doing lives to help educate the HR departments on the strategies that he's working with the top level executives to implement inside of their companies. And if that's not what people are doing, then you're missing out on just a lot of money. So when it talks about easy ways to create, just think about what your purpose is and think about what it is that you are looking to sell. Reverse engineer that thought process. Find the people if you're not sure about where the content is, and I promise you're going to be off to the races.